every revolution or every political movement or any kind of change, and having someone, okay, CIA, which is fucking for you to call me CIA when you know I'm not.
Everything was politicized. It was, oh, this is when we became the left versus the right. But both sides are trash. In COVID,
his own thing. So it seems to be that money's the issue, that like we're using money and that's how politics is being pushed. Because now we've seen what someone does when they use their own money, and it doesn't seem to be a solution. So I feel like we take money out of politics, we'll have a much better political system.
Politician, you think they're gonna come out and tell me the truth? They was lying to my mama. They ain't gonna never tell us.
So everybody, we look at certain things just because, oh, this happens in the hood or we see this every day. All the way up. These people were speaking truth. King, we could talk X, we could talk it all. They were speaking truth.
What's going on in anyone's mind, but let's take it as a given that Gray's argument is true, that the argument to not have ID is that it would be discriminatory versus certain socioeconomic brackets or something. It's like
the world's greatest trial run of what people will do and what people won't do. And we are the only country on the planet that really fought against the government. A lot of it,
because you focus on 80-20 issues. I'm looking at the Epstein issue as we have 80% of the information we need to prosecute these people that actually did anything, but you're focusing on the 20% trying to take down Donald Trump, which you're never going to get. So I'm going to keep sitting here with a smug-ass face on every single day.
I'll explain. Good question. I'll give you the answer. The Republican Party constantly talks about transgenders and transgender surgery to minors.
I'm mostly on the left, ideologically, but I don't associate with the Democrats because they're not ideologically on the left. The Democrats are clowns, and they're also losers.
About to be any engaging conversation. It's not about to be any discourse about different political ideologies, what works and what doesn't. If that is the outcome, right? For example, I'm not going to go and just put myself in the middle of a KKK rally.
Verify me. I'm not a fucking Fed. They always do this. I'll say this, right? But they did the same thing to Nick. We've seen the video. They'll call people who are genuine and authentic Feds because
the interesting thing to me is that the ones that claim that they believe the Constitution are now trampling the Constitution. The ones that said they believed in the First Amendment, the freedom of speech, right, are now going against the freedom of speech. The ones that...
So to see and hear this strong, compelling speech with emotion, I think that's extremely important for young men to see from a leadership perspective.
Y'all have no plan. They'll never talk about nothing positive about the Democrat Party. Everything is just anti-Trump. They're not willing to have a conversation. They call us fascists. We willing to have a conversation. Charlie Kirk's willing to have a conversation.
Here with the men and the women who are really the heart and soul of one of the greatest, most admired, and most successful companies in the history of the world, frankly, the one and only McDonald's. I've gone there a couple of times. And I'm honored to stand before you as the very first former McDonald's fry cook ever to become president of the United States. And I actually was there for about 30 minutes, and that was 30 minutes longer than Kamala was there, right? Despite her job at McDonald's, that didn't work out too well. And the person at McDonald's that informed us off the record that she never worked there, whoever you are, we appreciate that. That was very nice.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Party. Why I like the new party? Number one, it's a group of people that's on a panel. We all have differences, but we all basically still come together at the end of the day. The new party for me is about unity. The new party for me is about educating people to the truth, letting people know what's been going on in our country. With that being said, shout out to the new party, man. We're going to keep it going with y'all.
Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm Gray Mars.
I'm Mia.
I'm Kamal.
I'm the skeptic.
I'm Kim.
So,
Tonight on the new party, we are going to be avoiding the Epstein file discussion. Yay! You guys are in the place tonight where you hear about some other things. I'm just kidding. What am I talking about? We are going to talk about it. We're going to talk about MTG versus Trump at some point tonight. But nevertheless, Trump has been very feisty, man. He has been ripping into some reporters. We're going to play the first clip. He called somebody a pig today. Let me tell you, selfishly, I know some of y'all don't like Trump, but I was telling the team in the chat that for content reasons, I love Trump. He's so entertaining.
We're going to find out what did he know with respect to Bill Clinton, with respect to the head of Harvard, with respect to all of those people that he knew, including J.P. Morgan Chase.
Sir,
Yeah,
if
Jennifer,
there's
go
nothing
ahead. Go ahead.
incriminating in the file, sir, why are you acting as a...
Quiet.
On Venezuela, sir, you've had a lot of meetings.
Jesus. Would you have thought you've seen a day, skeptic, where Trump would call somebody a pig?
Yeah, I mean, the way he talks to women, I feel like he's never really been respectful to women, which to me seems to be, you know, when men only deal with women because it's a transactional thing, they tend to have that type of like attitude towards women. If you can't actually get a woman because of your personality and because they actually like you, then it becomes about you paying for their way or them using you, and then you treat them as such. I feel like the red pill does this also. They treat women as an object because they objectify women, and women transactionally use the men.
No, you're not wrong. I was just saying that about them. They're a funny bunch, but I don't know if it's Trump's kind of Trump is kind of personable, though. I mean, I don't know. But those guys like Myron Gaines, I know what you're saying. Okay, so he not only went off on that lady, he went off on this person he went off on this reporter too, and it was with the Saudi prince. Let's hear what he had to say. 1 second.
Pretty good.
Mr. President, why wait for Congress to release the Epstein files? Why not just do it now?
You know, it's not the question that I mind, it's your attitude. I think you are a terrible reporter. It's the way you ask these questions. You start off with a man who's highly respected, asking him a horrible, insubordinate, and just a terrible question. And you could even ask that same exact question nicely. You're all psyched up. Somebody psychs you over at ABC. You're going to psych it. You're a terrible person and a terrible reporter. As far as the Epstein files is, I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. I threw him out of my club many years ago because I thought he was a sick pervert. And I guess I turned out to be right. But you know who does have? Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, who ran Harvard, was with him every single night, every single weekend. They lived together. They went to his island many times. I never did. Andrew Weissman, I hear. All these guys were friends of his. You don't even talk about those people. You just keep going on the Epstein files. And what the Epstein is a Democrat hoax to try and get me not to be able to talk about the $21 trillion that I talked about today. It's a hoax. Now, I just got a little report, and I put it in my pocket, of all the money that he's given to Democrats. He gave me none, zero, no money to me. But he gave money to Democrats. And people are wise to your hoax. And ABC's, your company, your crappy company, is one of the perpetrators. And I'll tell you something.
So why not just sign it now?
I think the license should be taken away from ABC because your news is so fake and it's so wrong. And we have a great commissioner, the chairman, who should look at that, because I think when you come in and when you're 97% negative to Trump and then Trump wins the election in a landslide, that means obviously your news is not credible and you're not credible as a reporter. So I've answered your question. You should go and look at the Democrats who received money from Epstein, who spent their time. Larry Summers was with him all the time. That creep, the fund guy, was with him all.
So Enzo, what do you think about what he just said, and how did you feel about him having the Saudi prince there, despite all the controversy surrounding him?
I mean, Donald Trump is Donald Trump. He uses First Amendment right just how everybody else does. I don't really care when him going after ABC, when again, yes, ABC, CNN, MSNBC, all these news outlets will cover anything Donald Trump is a negative light. Doesn't matter if he does anything good for the country, bad for the country, regardless, that's going to be negative. So I don't disagree with how he came across, especially with the first question that she asked. It was pretty disingenuous in the way that she asked it. Yes, there is controversies about Saudi Arabia. Yes, there are issues with Saudi Arabia and the journalists that did go missing. At the end of the day, they still are a head of state for a foreign country that the United States is still meeting with. There has to be some type of decorum. There has to be some type of communication with these countries, like how everybody lost their mind the other day when the president of Syria was at the White House. At the end of the day, he's still the president. They still are heads of state. They are still going to meet with our president. And as the old saying goes, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. I could honestly care less about all of it.
Mia, what do you think about him having the Saudi prince there? The biggest thing or highlight of the day was people said for, I would say, almost 4 years now, he hasn't been invited to the White House. This was his first trip. What do you think about the diplomacy of it all?
I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. He is obviously representative of their royal family over there in Saudi Arabia. And I mean, it's like the pot calling the kettle black. How many people has our government disappeared? I mean, it's a little disingenuous and weird for us to be like super concerned about a journalist. And it's kind of funny because we traded a national arms dealer, a Russian arms dealer, for Brittany Griner when she knowingly violated the law in Russia, and nobody blinked an eye for that. So, I mean, it's super weird that people care this much about the journalist. It kind of is what it is. I don't know why I don't really care. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, like, people are crashing out. They're mad that we're not talking about Epstein. They're mad. You know what I mean? It's like you can never please people. I agree with your point, Mia. It's all theater at this point. But what's not theater, and this is a topic for my two Latinas on the panel to get you guys to talk about. Do Latinos regret voting for Trump and the Republicans? I got this clip. Skeptic gonna love it. See, I got something for everybody tonight. This man was crashing out. He basically regrets voting for Trump. Let's see what he has to say.
You told me that you voted for President Trump in 2024. Do you regret that decision? ¿Te arrepientes esa decisión?
Yes, 100%.
Why do you regret that decision?
That's because it's nothing that's true. It's not true. You know, and the first time he says something, and now, example, in the Latino people, we see everything is different. And the first time, example, he say he go to catch the delinquentes,
Criminals. Yeah. And right now, he don't follow to criminals. He go to specific to Latino people. Why Latino people? Because in the last Saturday, example, behind to me, I see the white people, the black people, and some people, Indian people, and Chinese people, and me. The DHS come specific to me and catch to me, not other people, because don't care to other people, specific Latino people.
Okay, so I gotta let one of the feisty Latinas in here. Kimberly, what do you think about this? There are a lot of people coming out and saying this. Are you hearing this in California, that people that voted for Trump that are Hispanic and Latino is regretting their vote?
Yes, not just Latinos. I think across the board, with regard to the immigration issue that person was speaking to, Trump is losing. At least he's becoming unfavorable with regards to the way he's going about with immigration, with regards to ICE and Border Patrol. But yeah, I do hear that a lot there are a lot of closeted Latino Trumpers. Everybody knows about it. Snow the Product made a song about it. It went viral. It was pretty funny. I don't think that we should shame people for voting for whoever they are, but there are a lot of people who were or are closeted Trumpers coming out and saying that they regret their vote for Trump. But I mean, I could have told them. Everybody knew he was talking about he was going so hard on immigration with regards to that specific topic that we could have known. I mean, I could have told you, but I also hear a lot of people, not just Latinos, but people regretting their vote for Trump. Not a lot, but it's starting to sway against him because of the strain of the economy. So I think a lot of Latino people are more really just hurt by the strain in the economy than the immigration.
Gray, as somebody that lives in one of the top Latino places in the country here in Florida, do you personally know any Latinos or Hispanics that say they regret voting for Trump?
Well, in Florida, it's more Puerto Ricans know that the guys are definitely still pro-Trump. But what I will say with what they're looking at, the polls, is that they were gerrymandering Texas, and they were depending on the Latino vote for that gerrymandering for them to secure more seats. So they're trying to backtrack on that those new maps now. So obviously, with that specific demographic, they are worried that they no longer want to vote Republican, or they're no longer moving right. So that seems to be the trend as far as polls are concerned.
Yeah, and not only are they regretting voting for him for what is happening here in the States, people are also feeling the pressure for what's happening in Mexico.
Contra el narco no es opción. No es opción. Primero, porque está fuera del marco de la ley. Todos estos de la derecha que se llenan la boca de las palabras Estado de Derecho y defienden la guerra contra el narco, pues la guerra contra el narco está fuera de la ley, porque como lo dije o lo he dicho en varias ocasiones, es permiso para matar, sin ningún juicio. Y eso en México nadie o muy poquitos están de acuerdo. Está fuera del marco de la ley. Y segundo, no sirvió de nada más que para aumentar los homicidios en México y el nivel de violencia. Entonces, estos llamados autoritarios, porque son autoritarios, es ir hacia el fascismo.
So, Kamal, as somebody that lives very close to Mexico and California, what's your thoughts? Have you been hearing Latinos say they regret it? And what do you think about what's happening in Mexico?
Be honest, I ain't hear a Latino saying a goddamn thing, to be honest. They ain't really talking. They just, I'm telling y'all, it's San Diego. I mean, it rained a couple of days ago and it rained today, but there's too much sunshine out here. The Latinos out here, they not really giving a fuck out here in San Diego, to be honest, from what I've been seeing. But What the fuck was that? What the fuck was she saying? Was she blaming narco or that was a bunch of word salad? I'm sorry.
I'm a let.
Salad she was saying.
I didn't understand him either.
Okay, I ain't the only one. I'm like, what is she
When
talking about?
people have an accent, I'd rather you speak in your native tongue. Like I can't. I'm sorry. I'm like I can't understand. I'm like say it in the other language so I can get it because I didn't get it either. I was laughing so hard at that because I was like, what?
What's her native language?
Spanish. He looked Mexican, so.
Oh, you're talking about the first dude. Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about the dude that was talking in English, and I was like, I don't know what he's saying. He was saying something about Indians, and I was like, what? I just like I couldn't get it.
I didn't get what he was saying, but Skeptic, what is going on in Mexico? What was she talking about? I couldn't follow.
So okay, so if you follow Mexican politics and you've been following for a while, you understand that there is this new political party called Moreno. Well, I don't know how new it is, but Moreno basically has had two presidents. So they had Manuel, whatever, he has a lot of names. And then this new Claudia Sheinbaum. These two presidents ran on ending corruption and going against the CTELs. So while they were doing this, they brought down the homicides in Mexico, and they were able to do this by not accepting money from the CTELs. The two biggest political groups that have always pushed forward politics in Mexico are El PRI y El PAN, okay? These two political groups came to the White House in February of 2025 and met up with this president. This president thought he could, because this is how Mexican politics have worked before. The wealthiest person, which tend to be connected to the CTEL, because those are the wealthy people in Mexico, tend to move politics and move politicians. And if you speak against them, they unalive you. There's no trials. That's what she was talking about. There is no taking them to the law because they control everything from trade down to lithium, down to petroleum, down there. About 2 or 3 years ago, there was this big issue with gas and petroleum. They were stealing it from the people that owned the lands that had we call them escrituras, right? Which is like the mineral rights to these lands. But the CTELs will unalive you. So you have to pay them in order to run your business. And so they own you in a way. When you see the past president and then this current president, who are both of the same political party, Moreno, come in and stop corruption, all of a sudden you see this uprise of groups that are American based because they're funded by American, people from the United States are kind of funding them and are connected to the old political groups, El PRI, El PAN, okay, which have connections to all this stuff. So they tend to move with you getting paid off. And Mexico is not like America, right? Mexican judges, Mexican federales, they all can be paid off at any point, and they can release your information and you will be unalive. They will unalive reporters or will go missing. You'll never find them again because they came and brought information out against the government. In America, there is corruption. I see corruption. But one of the things about America is that you have the Department of Justice that is supposed to go after the people that are corrupt. And because you tend to have these switches back and forth between parties, and you have these, checks and balances, you tend to have more people get in trouble for it. When in Mexico, for the longest time, corruption and CTELs had power, this new political group has ended a lot of that. And I'll give you an example just quickly, and then I'll be done. One of the things that they were doing is they were taking livestock from farmers because they were using their farms to grow stuff. And they would take their livestock and make the farmers pay the CTELs. When this president, Claudia Sheinbaum, took office, she took all the livestock from these CTELs and gave them back to the people. There were literal videos of people going in and grabbing live chickens. You had to prove that somehow you had been done wrong, and they was given back to the people. So I think there's a lot of weird stuff going on. I also think that the fact that this government had already said they wanted to invade Mexico, and now all of a sudden there's this uprise of conservatism in Mexico. They have a new party of conservatism in Mexico. Here's the funny thing. Mexican politics isn't like American politics. We don't run the same. They're not the same thing. American politics have been a system that has worked for centuries and like decades, right? In Mexico, it's not like that. In Mexico, politics have been very much intertwined with tails and corruption and paying people off and taking from the people. And they have sold the Mexican, betterment of the people to be paid off. We've had governors, we've had presidents, we have, representatives of the state sell or be sold off or be paid off, and they will sell the lithium that is owned by the Mexican people, or they will sell the petroleum that is owned by the Mexican people. So Mexican people cannot trust in their governors the way that Americans can kind of trust in their governors.
Wow, that's a whole lot going on there. But I mean, from what I'm gathering, it's very similar issues there here, but I get the political system is different. Another reason, getting back to like American politics, because it's all intertwined, is DeSantis says he questions what is legal immigration. Let's listen to it.
You have some strain on the right that says, oh, no, illegal immigration is bad. Legal immigration, no matter what, is good. And wait a minute. Now, I'm not saying any of it's that it's all bad or what, but is bringing 10 million people from like Somalia and dumping them into Georgia, is that good because it's legal? I think you have to think critically about what are we doing with an immigration policy, and is it benefiting the American people? Is it helping to promote a strong American culture? We should never bring people into this country who hate America. And when I when I look at like Mindami's dad and listen to the stuff he's saying about America being the story, I'm like, why would we have wanted somebody like that to come? I mean, especially if you think America is so bad. So we have to be smart. It's lazy thinking to say anything that's legal must necessarily be good. Some of these companies game these systems with bringing cheap labor. So there's a whole host of things, but don't do what Europe did. Europe did a mass migration that was legal, that was intentional, and it's proven to be disastrous. So as conservatives, we must think.
So Enzo, what's your thoughts on what he said? He said a whole lot. Do you think that Hispanics should regret their vote, or do you think that they should have known that what Trump is doing now was expected?
I mean, I say it's everybody that votes for Trump and they regret their vote. You're regretting your vote for somebody who literally laid out what he was going to do on the campaign trail with immigration and is literally executing what he said on the campaign trail with immigration to a T. There's nothing different. Like, for anybody to think that that was just going to not affect them, I'm sorry, you're an idiot at that point. That's your fault. Regret your vote, whatever. You still voted for the fucking guy when he said he was going to do exactly what he's doing. And I agree with Ron DeSantis to some capacity with legal immigration. Are we really going to bring in another 10 million people just because they're here illegally and displace American citizens that could be taking these jobs? Or that could be working, that could be having these jobs. I don't agree. Just because it's legal doesn't mean just import as many fucking people as you want. Bring them in and bring them in droves like that. No, just because it's legal, I don't agree with that. There should be certain criteria how many people should be allowed into this country every single year legally.
Wow. Well, sorry for those that regret their vote. I understand why, having family members get deported, I can imagine is really hard. But another issue that doesn't get talked about enough in this country is the Black maternal mortality rates. Kamal, I know you study a lot about Black people, Black history. Have you talked about this on your show, your network?
I talked about it like a couple of times, but I say this for more of the Black women to talk about it. You know what I mean? I touched on this before about the mortality rates being fucking high, and that one clip was fucking disgusting. That damn nurse. I don't know if you're gonna play that clip, but I'm
gonna play the nurse and I'm gonna play the woman, because there was another. I don't know. There were 2 viral clips that came out this week about women not getting helped. I'm gonna play the one that not a lot of people saw.
Okay, yeah, that damn nurse. They said they let her ass go, but she need to not be hired anywhere. You feel me? She ignored that woman she was basically going into labor and shit. Ignoring her, she was all in pain. You know?
So I think we could all agree that this is an important topic as well. And we're gonna play the clip that Kamal is referring to. This is the woman that was in labor. Let's watch.
My daughter's in active labor, and this is a Franciscan Crown Point being put out in active labor. So we gotta transfer her to a different hospital while she's in labor and pain. Unjust.
Okay. You want me to push this out? No.
Oh my God. I didn't want to. I was not expecting this. Oh my God. Okay. Nurse Mia, what did I just watch? Why did they make this poor lady leave?
Because a medical professional didn't do their job. So everybody knows you can't just go based off of dilation, and you can go from being 0 centimeters to being baby falling out of your vagina in seconds. So my biggest concern is obviously pain management for the mother, but it's also monitoring of the baby. The baby could be in distress. The baby cannot be getting enough oxygen. There are so many things that this video shows that just systematically went wrong. Like the entire system that we saw went completely wrong. Like the amount of pain, for starters, the fact that they didn't address her pain is so systemic in the United States because they just somehow continuously believe the bias that Black women don't feel pain at the same rate as other women do. So for starters, Black women, when it comes to our infant mortality rate, is 2 times higher, 3 times higher than white women alone, but it's 2 times higher than everybody else. We die and our babies die at an accelerated rate. Oh, hands down, to the point where you can go on the March of Dimes, which, you know, is an organization that tracks preterm babies and so on and so forth. And they have grades. They grade states. I have some of the states pulled up. I have the map pulled up of the rate of Black maternal death in the United States. And it is crazy. So we have 50 states, right? And only one state in the United States, only one state has a rate of A, like perfect score, odds are you're coming out alive. And that's my state. That's it. And out of 50 states, only one state where you're almost guaranteed you're going to survive your childbirth is the state that I live in New Hampshire. But all of the other states are basically failing, are Fs. Even Texas is a D. What is it? Looks like Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, West Virginia, Kentucky are all Fs. Florida is a D. North Carolina, Tennessee, Michigan, Nevada, all of these places are Ds. Like the odds of Black women dying is extremely high. And it's such a systemic issue. And you know, it's crazy. And I hardly ever bring up like the race aspect in anything, but this is one of the glaringly obvious racist things about this country is they don't give a fuck if Black women live or die. They literally don't care. Asians survive, almost all of them. White women continuously survive. It doesn't matter where they go in the country, they are surviving. And even Hispanic women are surviving as well.
Mia, address this in the chat because I feel like people don't believe it. We literally showed the video. I mean, we got some ignorant ass people in the comments. I'm sorry.
It has
You know,
nothing
I
to
never
do with
talk
black
shit in the
women
chat.
taking more
But I
pains and
gotta say,
moving
y'all
the
don't even
culture
real
forward.
ignorant. Y'all watch the video in full.
No.
Y'all saw they turned this woman away. I don't know. What are you not understanding about the video? The video was she was actively in labor. They turned, I don't know why they turned her away. I couldn't really hear, but they turned her away actively in labor and she gave birth in a car. Her and the baby could have died from sepsis, all sorts of stuff. Like,
No,
I don't understand what the disconnect is.
So for a lot of people don't understand, like, modern obstetrics, like, comes from the mutilation of Black women and Indigenous women. We are the original ones. When they figured out how to do C-sections, they weren't doing them on the white ladies, they were doing them on us, right? They were doing it historically on Black women, and I'm sure Native women, but I don't know so much about the Native women as I do not identify Native.
They would
Cheating us. They were just like slicing up and taking the baby out and stitching up, and weren't even medicated.
Yeah, they were
Freaking
sterilizing
so
the Native women. They were stopping them from having children. Like, that's the history of how they treated Native women in this country.
They
But
were sterilizing Black women not that long ago with the Mississippi appendectomies. They were literally removing the uteruses of Black women without telling them. They would go in for a different procedure and they would come out with no uterus. You couldn't have any more kids. Like, this has been and America sterilized, like, I want to say it was either 1 in 7 or 3 in 7. Like, a lot of Puerto Rican women couldn't have babies because they were experimented on for birth control. And like this, like, we know this to be true. We have facts for this. That literally a Black woman is 3 times more likely to unalive having a child than a white woman. And we're not talking in the like 1960s, like in the 70s. We're talking in 2019. Like, this is like during modern medicine, and it's actually not getting any better. And actually, I hosted a whole live on this, and I shared all of the resources that I had. And a doctor came up and gave a website that you can go to if you are a Black woman and you're going to go see a medical doctor so that you can preserve your life. And I was like, it's wild that has to exist. It's wild that we have this conversation when we supposedly are moving forward as a country or as a people, right? And the fact that you have a group of women that literally. Also, if you have a child that is born with low birth rate and your child is Black, they are, I want to say it was, depending on what type of doctor, if the doctor is a Black doctor or a white doctor, they either have 2 times less the likelihood to live. So there is also a difference between the doctor, the race of the doctor, and the race of a newborn child. And the reason why they did this study is because people tend to say exactly what they said in the comments. Oh, because of pre-existing conditions. What different pre-existing conditions does a newborn preemie child have? Like, you can't use that excuse. You have to use the excuse that there's a problem in the medical field. There is a bias, and it's racially based, and it's costing people lives. And let me just say, if you are in the Black community, my daughter had an issue, and I talked to my mother-in-law, who is a Black woman in America and went through desegregation. She told me, you need to go to a Black doctor so they don't unalive your child. Which is a wild thing for somebody to tell you, because of the race of my child. If I take her to the doctor, she's more likely to be unalive, and it's known in the community. Like, this is nothing new. They say this to you so that you can preserve your life. Wild.
I'm gonna play this clip and then I'm gonna let Kimberly go. This was by a white nurse. I don't know, maybe it'll land differently with some people in the comments. I don't know.
Hi, my name is Hannah, and I'm a Dallas Regional Medical Center ER nurse. And I'm frequently in triage, and I want to open my heart and be vulnerable with all of you, because I, along with you, came across the viral video scrolling on TikTok on my day off, and by making this video, I'm going on a limb because I could lose my job, and I don't want to lose my job. Coming to you, and a lot of y'all are going to say that I'm part of the problem. And I've read that. Why is no one speaking out? Why is no one sticking up? Why is no one saying this nurse should be fired? There's a lot of things that I want to say and I cannot. Please understand, I have a job. I am a single mom of 4 kids. I don't get help. I raise them on my own. I'm a mom that has been on SNAP most of my life. I've gotten Medicaid. I barely make enough money to pay my bills as a nurse. It's expensive out there. But you know what? None of my struggles, none of them compare to what a black woman has to go through in our country because of the color of her skin. Racism isn't just, oh, it's the color of your skin, it's everything. It's not just, oh, look at that person, like, oh, she's ghetto, she's black. It's not just that. Y'all struggle. You struggle in a way that I can't understand. And to watch that video in my own ER where we serve people that are there on their worst day is horrible. It's so hurtful because I love my patients and there are so many of us nurses that are just in shock. We can't believe that this would happen. But at the same time, we're not surprised because there's issues. And I'm sure it's at every hospital. I've worked at many hospitals. I've been a nurse a long time.
Let me say this before you go, Kimberly. Black women are not victims. They're victors. I appreciate where she's going. Come on, I saw you laughing. Come on, me and you probably on the same page with this, but go ahead, Kim. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I thought she was going to like. I was watching that and I feel her empathy. I thought she was going to say like something that she knew. I thought she was going to say they tell us to do this.
Saying the big. So, y'all gonna kill me. I don't care, but that's how white liberal women are. I'm sorry. It's how I feel. I'm sorry. Kamal's thinking it. I said it for him.
But I think she was saying she could lose her job if she did like say something.
Yeah.
But,
poor girl. I feel bad for her.
I'm sure there's bias. I'm sure that's what
there is.
Obviously, there's bias, and because there's racism in the whole country and in the system, and because racist people still exist, and we made them politicians in our country, and they're among us, and they have uprisen again.
Hold on. Then why fucking put a video on social media to say something about talking about some shit, but then be like, I might lose my job, but I want them followers up. Oh, black pain. Oh, black pain. Oh, white woman tears. Get them followers up. Hit me with a like. Pay me. This broad grifting off of black pain. Per usual. That's why I was fucking laughing. Get the fuck out of here. You weren't really spill the tea. Do what Kimberly say and give us some real. They making us do this. They making us do that.
I feel bad for her, but she was crying. I felt sincere, but I thought she was going to say like they told us to something, like I don't know. But so in the healthcare system, there's systemic racism in the country. I don't think that everybody is inherently racist. I choose to see the good in all people. I think we're all divided more by class than we are by any of our choose your demographic. But there is systemic racism in the healthcare industry. There's systemic health racism in the schooling system. There's systemic racism in just getting a loan. They did a study a few years ago, I'll pull it up, where they got people who were of different races and they sound of different races, just even over the phone, you're more likely to get a loan if you don't sound Black or Hispanic. So it is true. And I also do agree. I mean, at the end of the video, I was like, wait, what happened though? Tell us. Like, or do they tell you, is there a system in place where you're not allowed to accept, like, we need to know, because if there's a way to fix it, we should fix it. Like, but I did feel bad for her. She was crying and I empathize. It must be hard.
You're too sweet.
Don't feel bad for a cloud head. She takes the fucking cloud.
I'm saying, oh, I'm so sad. Everything.
Man,
When I say to the person in the comments who's an idiot, how in the hell can you explain to me his comment? You're so idiotic and you're so ignorant. Okay, tell me how a black baby causes their own pain by just being born prematurely. Like, please explain that to me, because you are so dumb that you don't even understand the facts that we're trying to tell you. We're trying to show you that if you isolate everything but being born out of your own control early and having low birth rate, you are more likely to be unalive because of your race. Like, what? Use some data. Use a little bit of the brain that the Lord gave you. Please, please, let's use the brain.
You know what's crazy is they could ask Chat GPT, and Chat GPT will tell them the exact information that we're saying, but they'll believe it then, because some reason, I don't know, Chat GPT just makes it more palatable to them. But it's like Google, Siri, ChatGPT, Perplexity will all give you the exact same information we're saying with the exact same sources. So I don't know why people are acting brand new in these comments, like we're lying or something. It's like, I'm sorry you're in denial. I'm sorry you don't want to do your own research. We're literally spoon feeding you this data and you just like refuse to swallow it.
Or I got a better one. Go to Fox News, type in Black women mortality rates, and even they have articles on it.
Right?
Where on my life?
Right?
Go look it up. So,
right?
anyways, I'm getting
They're
kind of
professional trolls.
yeah.
They don't care.
but
They know
it's
the
another
truth. They just
level
want to talk shit.
Yeah, but I believe people feel like this in real life. That's the sad thing. But we're gonna move on.
Hold on 1 second. It says Dial Up wrote, ask ChatGPT how many more Black mothers use drugs and drink while pregnant. Well, which is hilarious because we actually don't. Which is
Shay, what an
hilarious because
idiot.
we don't. But also, Black mothers actually smoke 10% less cigarettes compared to all of the other mothers. So in essence, we really shouldn't be in the category we're at when it comes to our death for being pregnant in a first world country, the richest country, mind you, allegedly, with this golden age of economic prosperity, allegedly. But somehow we seem to be on the ground more. Riddle me that.
And according to the education data that we have, Black women had the most higher up education, like when it comes to degrees, in 2009 to 2010. And the stats that we're giving you, I want to say go from 2010 to 2019, the ones that I had read and I had shared. So tell me also how education is being outranked by Black women, but still that has nothing to do with the conservation of their lives when giving birth. Also, it's such an innocent thing to like give birth to a child. It's like nothing you can control. Your body takes over, and it's like this, like all you think about is the baby. And as a woman who gets put in this if you've had a child, you know how it is like such a
Skeptic, you faded out. Skeptic, you faded out.
Well, while Skeptic quiet, hey, you cocksuckers, some of y'all funny in the chat, but your mama got 3 left titties. You bitch ass niggas. Fuck y'all.
Oh, Lord.
Some of y'all, you're saying some bullshit. You punk ass. Some of y'all might name out. Y'all keep on chatting away.
They're like, we're speaking in SNAP benefits. Funny story, white women use them more than anybody in this country. So I don't understand how we're speaking in SNAP benefits when really, I mean, we need to get a white lady up here to have the proper representation for SNAP benefits because they use the most. So how are we speaking in SNAP when we don't use nearly as much as your Caucasian counterparts do?
I will add to the liberal white women comment about that you guys made. It is true that the liberal Karens are sanctimonious and they do virtue signal, but then they never want it in their neighborhood because they'll protest against like gentrification or other like affordable housing in their own neighborhood. So they'll put up a picket sign and say all lives matter or Black lives matter, but then not when it's in their neighborhood. And this has been, I live near a liberal white city that's like that. It's called Claremont. And they've had that issue a lot where they've been sued.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to play this clip right here. We'll switch gears. I'm going to let Enzo respond to this. We're going to play this clip and we're going to get into it about the revolution and what's going on. So the Revolutionary War was talked about this week. It's in the news because of a documentary that came out on PBS, oddly enough, where funding is being cut. But anyways, we'll get off of that. And here leading up to this week. This is a clip from the Democrats put out about congressmen regarding the No Kings. Let's hear what they had to say.
Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly.
Representative Chris DeLuzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow. I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
and the intelligence community
who take risks each day to keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military
and intelligence community professionals
against American citizens.
Like us. You all swore an oath
to protect and defend this Constitution.
Right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad, but from right here at home.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law
or our Constitution.
We know this is hard and that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
the Army,
or Navy,
the Air Force,
your vigilance is critical.
And know that we have your back.
Because now, more than ever,
the American people need you.
We need you to stand up for our laws,
our Constitution,
and who we are as Americans. Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
So Enzo, what do you think about that clip? What's your thoughts? They're pretty much telling servicemen to not listen to orders. Is that treason?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out if that was a joke, satire, an SNL skit. Is this the new Democrat talking points because the Epstein files are going to be released? Like, what are we doing here? Are we going to say Trump's going to use the army against the people, like how fucking Mark Milley said it in his first term? That's why he didn't give them the National Guard for January 6th, because he thought he was going to use the National Guard to overthrow the government. Then are we really going backwards to use the same fucking talking points again? You guys got nothing new. Where in the blue fuck in America is Donald Trump using the military against the people? I'll wait. Where are we using the military against the people? And what illegal orders are they talking about? Am I living in a delusion land that the military is somewhere in fucking, and we got martial law going on somewhere? Like, is that going in like the middle of nowhere? Like, I'm lost. I'm so lost.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was interesting. But we are approaching the 250th year anniversary. We are at a precipice in our country. This is what Benny Johnson had to say about the founding fathers and capitalism.
We change one thing about America's founding, I would not have a capital city. The entire promise of America was that they dilute and fraction power. There should not be one centralized federal city. That's insane. Something happens inside of that place, no matter how many good people are in charge, because it's run by demonic forces. And there is a pressure that weighs on you that manipulates reality. You could see people like Elon Musk go there and like completely crash out, right? After living there for just a little bit. Some really good people go nuts. It is a sunken place, that city. And it's designed to manipulate reality and to disconnect you from the base. What you're watching, obviously, is a little bit of the administration trying to find their footing and trying to reconnect with the MAGA base because they're out of step. That is something that falls to us now. We're not Charlie, we never will be. But it's something that falls to us to pick up a piece of the mantle and to carry it forward. That's why I was meeting with the White House for 5 hours on Friday. It's like go in and to bang my fists on the table and demand action on certain major priorities. And I got a chill through my skull and bones when I saw this morning. Put it up. Here's the final policy prescription that Charlie Kirk demanded of the federal government, of which he was a massive player in establishing. Charlie posted this, and 3 weeks later, he was murdered. I'll just go out and say it. Yeah, of course there's a connection. Charlie Kirk was murdered because of this. Whether you believe that it's Tyler Robinson just hating Charlie Kirk, or if you believe in a greater and broader conspiracy of evil which I also believe in, let's let the trial play out. I'm going to reserve my judgment until I see all the evidence. But does it mean that the forces of evil wanted to stop Charlie and were using what was clearly demonically possessed young men in order to do so? Yes. Yes. There was a broader conspiracy of evil against Charlie, and I believe it happened on a spiritual level. The spirits of evil wished to destroy Charlie because of policy prescriptions like this. As far as I know, the final policy prescription of Charlie is right here on screen. This is the social compact breaking down, Charlie says, literally days before he's shot and killed. We need urgency to restore it. We need mass deportations, stop the H-1B scam, dramatically reduce legal immigration, or stop all legal immigration. I agree with that. And chain migration and visa lottery, obviously. Yes, it can be done with a stroke of a pen. Build 10 million homes for Americans, absolutely. Urban containment is a huge problem, and crush the college cartels. And he's posting the data we talked about yesterday.
Kimberly, what do you think about that clip? He said a whole lot. Do you agree with what Charlie, before he was unalived, said the plan should be to improve America? Will that be the revolution we need in this country, or what do you think?
I'm going to be honest. I sat through that out of respect for you. I don't know who that guy is. That was so hard to watch. At first, he didn't make sense because he was talking about decentralized. So I was like, okay, he's lefty. And then he was talking about, I was like, what? Like, he's like all over the place. And I can't listen to people who are like so like that in your face. Anyways, do I agree that, I mean, a lot of what the right rightly diagnoses as, you know, the crushing of the middle class, their prescription is wrong. It's easy to say that immigrants are the problem. A lot of the immigrants that come here came from refugee crises that the United States has created all over the world from their horrific foreign policy. So I'll just say that. I think the HB1 visa is, as it exists, and needs to be reformed. I get that. I do think that we need to prioritize our citizens. I think that's why countries exist. I think that each country should prioritize their citizens. I get that. But there's a certain way to go about certain, especially economic issues with regards to immigration, without being so extreme to the right. Like, cut off all legal immigration también, like that's crazy. But yeah, he lost me. I don't know what he was talking about, where I don't know. I think there's a conspiracy behind Charlie Kirk's death, but I don't know if he was going about it correctly. There was a point where he said something. What did he say? He said that he was murdered because of that tweet. I don't know. That was a bit much, but yeah, with regards to immigration, I do think that that's really extreme.
Yeah. Kamal, what do you think will be the revolution we need in this country? He laid out a pretty clear plan. Do you agree with it, or do you think he's full of it, kind of like what Kim said?
I ain't gonna lie. I'm with Kimberly. I don't know what the fuck he was saying. Is this, I don't know what the fuck is motherfuckers talking about show today? Because damn, a lot of people have been babbling, from Mexican bird to the Mexican president to Burbro with the Johnny Bravo haircut. Nigga was, I don't know, he was just blurting out shit. You know what's gonna be the American Revolution? You know when that's gonna be?
What?
That's when Donald Trump gonna slap the fuck out of Bill Clinton. That's when the American Revolution gonna happen. When these damn politicians start fighting each other. Nancy Pelosi, you gotta fight out the gang now. You can't just leave politics without no bangs and bruises. Hell no, you gonna have to throw some fucking hands like they do with the Mexican politics. You was right, Skeptic. The Mexican politicians do it a little different than they do in America. They'll slap the fuck out you with the goddamn with the right hand. You feel me? Out here in America, you know, that I'm waiting on that. When they gonna start doing that shit? You feel me? But I really didn't know what bro was saying, man. The only thing I could think of was it was conspiracy, and I damn near was about to play the X-File thing, but I don't know, man. Are we gonna have American Revolution? Shit, they keep bringing immigrants. I tell you that fucking much. They keep bringing illegal immigrants. It's gonna be a for sure American Revolution. because the wage is gonna go down to fucking $1.52. You think they ain't hiring us? I'm telling you right now, that's when the revolution gonna happen. All right, but what Benny Blanco, where the fuck his name was saying, I don't know what he was talking about. It was, I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna play this
Bring
clip
back
about
dueling.
go ahead.
Can we bring back dueling?
Oh
Yeah.
that might be something.
Citizens, bring back dueling. That's how we
Might as
settle
well.
disagreements in America. Bring it back.
That would be great. I would love to see Trump and a few of them do it.
And Nancy Pelosi, first one.
You know
Maybe
what's funny?
Obama.
That you guys are talking about Nancy Pelosi. Right now, I'm on the Quiver quantitative to check out her stocks to see what she's selling. Because that's
what's she
you
selling?
guys, right now, she sold Apple stock back in October. So,
Okay.
I mean, it seems like a lot of people are starting to sell their stocks. So, you know.
Y'all better
Since
be
you guys
listening.
mentioned her, I figured I'd check her out. I haven't checked her trades in a while.
Hey, Mia, you giving the people in the chat that's broke as fuck talk about we broke. Can't send no super chat. Y'all better listen. Get
Right,
your fucking
I
money
got
up.
I wonder if I wonder if she's
but can't send a $2.99 super chat. Like, okay.
Yeah, Mr.
I was
Home.
Okay, brokey.
I was gonna say I wonder if she sold Apple stock after the there was a huge mining collapse in Congo.
I think
recently.
that was around the time, Kimberly. That's what I was
Whoa.
thinking too.
Mm.
That's why she did it. But yeah, last clip, guys. We're gonna play the clip about the revolution, and then I'll have Skeptic go next.
Gets into what a civil war this was.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, you characterize this as a
It is.
civil war.
More
rather
of a
than-
civil war than our Civil War.
Definitely.
And you write about 15,000 Black Americans who actually enlist with George III.
Yeah.
Yes.
As opposed to the 5,000 that ultimately joined the Patriots.
Right.
That's because a quote, according to Vincent Brown, for many of those enslaved people, the British represented freedom, the Patriots did not. That's a hard story to tell Americans.
Yeah.
Why is it hard, Sarah?
Well, what you see in the American Revolution is that both sides of the fight are manipulating and trying to promise freedom to the enslaved people, and they're going to take whichever version of that notion of freedom they think is more possible than the other, and that is really understandable. And we need to put that into some historical context. Yes, it's a bitter pill to swallow, but it actually shouldn't be if you've thought about American history and how long it takes for us to fight the Civil War.
Nobody wants to be enslaved. No one wants to be enslaved. So where do I have freedom? And I did not know the full dimensions of the hypocrisy of one of the most cherished of the stories we tell about Lord Dunmore, who's a deposed British royal governor who's out in the Chesapeake, who owns human beings. And he says, if you are the slave of a rebel, we'll give you your freedom. If you're the slave of a loyalist, you're going to be a slave for the rest of your life.
Okay, I'm gonna let Kamal go first. Kamal, what do you think about that clip?
Oh, I wish them white folks shut the fuck up. I'm tired of that shit. Stop using our black plight to push y'all shit. If y'all motherfuckers are really real about it, y'all have been like, yeah, like the enslaved Black Americans, they fought for their freedom, like how it is right now that we fight for fucking reparations for that shit. Shut the fuck up, man. Y'all white motherfuckers, talk about some European Americans. Stop fucking putting us in the mix of shit. I'm tired
So
of
you're
that.
mad that he's talking about the Black people in his documentary? I just want to understand. Sorry.
I'm mad that he's trying to flip it and be like, oh yeah, it's like the times of the day of what we're fighting with and like how the Black Americans fought back in the day to free themselves as slaves. No, if you want to incorporate us, incorporate what the fuck we want right now. That's reparations and an anti-Black hate crime bill. Stop the horse shit, motherfuckers. Stop using our shit to push y'all shit off from that white lady crying and shit when she didn't want to give up the good secrets in the hospital to this motherfucker with the documentary. I see what you're doing, bro. I don't like that shit. Hell no. Hell no. Don't like it at all.
Skeptic, what do you think? I mean, I think people forget that this country really did get founded with immigrants.
Yeah, I did.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Can you guys hear me? Can y'all hear me now? Okay, good. I
But
did,
they're saying that the documentary is woke because he mentions
but
that
it's not though. It's factually based. I actually did know about that. The interesting thing about it is though, I don't know how much they're emphasizing on the manipulation that the Europeans were using, and I'm talking Europeans on both sides. Because if you understand, America and Britain and the French have been treaty breakers. They will make a treaty with you, they will promise you one thing, but then they will do whatever they want to do, whatever benefits them, whether that has to do with land, whether that has to do with reparations, whatever it is. They will promise something, but then they won't come through with it. So the fact that they were trying to manipulate anyone who was enslaved by saying, hey, if you don't fight for our cause, then this and that is going to, work against you or work in your favor, was manipulation. Like at the end of the day, that's what it is. And I did want to say, this man, I know military men, and I hate to see military men that have been in service for more than a decade say that they're going to retire or they're going to not re-enlist because of all the things that are going on. We have seen the attack on military men. Like, to say that there is no attack or anything illegal when you are going against a governor's request to not have the National Guard come into their state, and you didn't respect the state, whatever it is, what is it that they say? They used to be for state rights. And all of a sudden you're okay with the federal government overstepping their power is hypocritical. And the fact that what was it? Whiskey Links, what's his name? Pete Hegseth, that had 2 leaks off of his little whiskey problem. The fact that he went and gave a whole TED talk to military men, basically telling them, if you don't agree with us, you're in danger or we're going to come after you, is wild. Because the military and everyone that gives their life for this country isn't supposed to be one way or the other. They're supposed to care about the success of our nation and protecting our freedoms. So it is sad to see the attack on military men. It is sad to see the attack on people that are willing to risk it all, put their families, put Christmas, put Thanksgiving, put important things like their children being born on the sidelines, and then be told you have to agree with us. If not, we're going to come after you. Have them, say, I don't want to be involved in all this stuff. If one day I am of Latin descent, and if they have me out here, going against people that I may ideologically agree with, I just don't want to be a part of it. I'd rather just retire from my service. It's sad. It's sad as Americans. And I do think it's illegal. So I wanted to emphasize on that. And then also it is manipulative. Europeans have for a very long time been manipulative. If you look at the culture of Rome and how the men there slept with little boys, like all this stuff, you re-see it in the generations. Their ancestors did it. That's why you're re-seeing it in this newer generation of people.
Oh Lord. The chat is off the chain tonight. Kamal, I know this is your fan and I respect it, but like, first, she kind of irritated me tonight. God bless me. First, she said, I don't know why y'all are talking about black mortality rates in front of people, when you only have 2 black women on here. First of all, it's very, very, very important we talk about this in front of all people, because this is an American issue. It's not a black issue. It's not a white issue. It's an American issue. And secondly, I'm just done. I can't. There's nobody white tea up here tonight. I can't. That's all I got to say. But you can go ahead.
Yeah, that's my homegirl Brooke. You feel me? You know what I mean? People have their opinions on shit. You feel me? I can't knock it. You know what I mean? Y'all niggas in the chat funny. Y'all talk about y'all niggas don't own no homes. You don't own no cats and dogs and cars and shit. You broke motherfuckers. Y'all the woke channel. Y'all racist. Blah blah blah. And I got Nut Cream. Is that how you say his name? Or Nacrium? Nut Cream? Yo, weird ass name. Fuck out of here. You feel me? You know what I mean? And once again, shout out to my homegirl Brooke, you feel me? You know what I mean? She got a little spicy in the chat today, you feel me? You know what I mean? But he not the only one that been on like that the Nutcrum nigga. He said, I ain't black. Man, ash and mama jaw when I dropped them nuts all in her damn jaw. Anyway, just me, you a whole ass nigga. You from Walnut Creek, you punk motherfucker. I'm from the town. I'm from Oakland. I know how you honkies out there in Walnut Creek be. As soon as he said he was from Walnut Creek in Cali, I'm like, oh, that's why he got all this anti-black, racist ass vitriol type of shit. Man, if you don't shut the hell up and stop eating your dog's dick, get the F out of here with that bullshit. God damn. You ain't black. You yellow. Such a stupid ass. God damn. Wow.
Oh my God.
We send a super chat. You fuck motherfuckers, man. You
Jesus
goddamn.
Christ.
You talk about how broke we is and we need this. Send a super chat, you rich assholes. Y'all got 42 homes. Y'all got a Ferrari in the damn front yard. Damn. Show us how broke we really is and give to charity. Goodness gracious, man. God damn. I've been trying to hold it in because the chat been wilding. Oh,
yeah, and I'm gonna talk about what I want to talk about, darling.
Uh-oh. Let me mute
that
it.
fucking simple. And if you don't like it, don't come watch. It's that simple. I mean, this is the problem though. We got racism with the whites, we got racism internally. I really can't. And when people don't talk about it, it's a problem. But when people talk about it, it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to Skeptic. Skeptic took the time to talk about a real problem and to highlight it that is affecting the Black community. She didn't have to do that.
Yeah, but I also have Black women in my panel that came up and gave their personal experience of when they gave birth. Like, I speak on, stuff that happens in the Latino community, but a lot of the base where I speak at is like the Black community. And I've been in the Black community since I was like 17, right? Like my community where I live at now, knows here. So like all my family that I call family, aunties and grandmas and everyone who's like passed, papa, everybody that I know since I've been 17, like that's just been what it is. And then I went to college and I stayed here. So like, if, we bring light to things that matter. And we also had representation and we had women come up and give their stories. Also, I want to say, if you're on TikTok and you want to listen to more of this, A. Quinn, which is like mutual of a mutual, also hosts lives on Saturday mornings and has all Black women come up and give stories of what happened and how they handled the situation. And they give a lot of good resources. So that'd be something for you to listen to if you want to on TikTok, A. Quinn. And I want to say it's Saturday mornings, or DM him and ask him when it is that he hosts them. But I want to say it's Saturday afternoons, like around 11 or 12.
And shout out to Enzo. Enzo said he's the GOAT. So because he sent the super chat, we will let him do his closing thoughts first.
Oh. So my closing thoughts are, why the hell are y'all not sending super chats? You guys not like us or something like that? Why do I gotta send myself a super chat? Come on now. Get with the program, subscribe to us, send us super chats. We do this every Monday through Thursday. It's a wonderful place, wonderful cast, great people. This was a great episode. Everybody subscribe to the new party.
Yeah, I mean, facts. I mean, anyways, thank you, Enzo. Everyone go check out Enzo's live. He's going live tonight, so please go check him out after this. I'm gonna allow Mia to go next. What's your closing thoughts?
Again, another great episode. Very funny. I always enjoy listening to Kamal roast the chat. I feel like we should just have an entire episode dedicated to Kamal roasting the chat. And at the end of the day, Black maternal mortality rate, infant mortality, but also maternal mortality rate is a problem in the United States, and it is a systemic issue. You can find resources on this literally everywhere, whether it's Google, whether it's Siri, whether it's ChatGPT, Perplexity, Grok, take your pick. They will all tell you the same information. And instead of fighting with us in the chat, I suggest you all get educated, because no American woman in 2025 should be dying just from giving birth. Something as natural, as simple as giving birth, but yet somehow we are almost 3 times as likely to die in an American hospital. And that is a problem.
Facts. And if you're triggered now, you're going to be really triggered Thursday night. This is the preview for Thursday night show.
people you're not allowed to criticize in this country. If you criticize Jews, you're an anti-Semite. If you criticize blacks, you're called a racist. If you say that Jews need to be held accountable for their actions, they'll say that leads to another Holocaust. If you say the black people need to be held accountable for their actions, they'll say that leads to Jim Crow or slavery.
These Jew haters, man, that put $7,000 underneath all your posts when you say anything about the Jews or when you give very good arguments for the Jews, it just shows low brain function. That's what it shows. It shows people that have very low brain function, right? They're not very smart. They don't know how to debate. I would never do that because I know how to argue my position. When people don't have anything to say, that's what liberals do, especially that's a liberal mindset.
So yeah, so sorry, Brooke, if you're easily triggered, you might not want to come back Thursday night because we got a debate coming. Yeah, and if you've been on TikTok or X today, you've seen what Andre's been up to. Whew, Jesus. Skeptic, what's your closing thoughts?
Yeah, I'm glad that you guys brought up the Black mother mortality rate. I think it is an important issue that needs to be addressed. And I do want to say that Vice President Harris was going to address this issue. She did have like a policy or an initiative to try and address this. So we could, what we missed out on, something else we missed out on. I do want to say to all of those Mexicans that are, we call them, I forget the freaking name, but it's like patrias, vendedores de patria, that are going out there and are protesting with this one nation, Americanized, manipulative like topic that they have. Go back and look at how many presidents allowed for Mexicans to come out and protest. Go look up prior to the 2 presidents that we had under Moreno. Go and look up how much freedom you had as a Mexican to come out and speak on facts. Because if you really go and do your due diligence and you're not just manipulated by social media, you'll see that this president is allowing for a lot of freedoms that were not there prior to her. So I think that we need to look at the best interest for the country. It is not our like in Mexico, we don't normally destroy murals and we don't normally destroy our own art and our own culture. We have a lot of respect for our things. The fact that these people went out and protested and almost got rid of a mural by Rivera, it to me just told me that this is Americanized. That isn't our style. We go against the police or we go against, the cartel or whoever it is that we have that issue with. But the way that the protest was even conducted to me was very Americanized. We should be smarter than that. We should have a little bit more love for our country to not allow these people to manipulate us. America needs to stay out of Mexican politics, and they need to not bring their ideas to Mexico because we're not the same. We don't think like America. We don't conduct our politicians and our political agendas like the way that they do. And if we allow them to come in and continue to use money and continue to manipulate and steal all of the natural resources, they're going to invade us. They will come in and take over. We will continue to give them everything that we have worked for. The economy in Mexico right now is flourishing. The economy in America is struggling and is set to be a catastrophe here soon. You have the billionaires selling off stocks. You have AI taking jobs of thousands of immigrants, thousands of Americans, even though they blame the immigrant. But now it's AI that's taking all the jobs. Immigrants don't have nothing. You heard Scott Bassett say that immigrants were bringing cattle. They were smuggling cattle in, which is wild, on national television. That is the reason why our beef is going to go up to $10 a pound, because of immigrants. They blame everything on immigrants other than actually going against the issue. So if there's anything is for, if you are realizing that America is coming in and trying to manipulate you like they have in the past, stop it. Stop it from using you to get to more younger people. And follow us on TikTok. This was a great episode.
Thank you, Skeptic. Kim, what's your closing thoughts?
Oh, I would love to talk to a skeptic about Mexican politics. It would probably take way too long, and I'm only leaving breadcrumbs today. But the protest was infiltrated by businessmen like Ricardo Salinas Pliego and Carlos X Gonzalez, who are billionaires in Mexico. Also Vicente Fox, who was 5 presidents ago, very conservative. PAN PRI, we've had Fox, Calderón, Peña Nieto, and then under Morena, we've had AMLO and Scheinbaum. I have my criticisms of Morena from the left, but conversation for another day. But to me, this protest does seem like a coordinated, I don't want to call it a revolution, but at least like a color protest, which has been funded at least 90 million pesos by conservative groups, which they have in other Latin American countries as well. It's really important. I think ABC, Trump's attack on ABC reporter, that's not good. That's illegal. And also the question that she asked was really good. She was referring to the murder of Kamal Khashoggi, and it's a crazy story, but they literally murdered this reporter from I believe he was under Al Jazeera at the time, and that's, you know, we have the worst friends in that side of the world. We're friends with Egypt, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE, and they're just really bad people. And I think it's also a shame that they had the former Al Qaeda leader at the White House who now controls Syria with the help of the United States. So that's also bad. We're always fomenting all these wars all over the world. We create refugee crises, and then we cry about refugees coming into our country. And then also, lastly, very important, I think that the Black maternity mortality rates is a shame and a huge stain on this country. Historically, in this country, a lot of women have suffered, and also a lot of Black people have suffered. So it's especially hard for Black women. They've suffered a lot throughout this country, and we've failed them. And we do need to implement some type of change to correct that, because it's a reflection of the systemic racism that we have in this country. And I don't think everything is racist, but when you have 3 times mortality rates for Black women, then that is a failure of this country, and we need to address it.
Facts. Thank you, Kim. Kamal, what's your closing thoughts?
Hey, first of all, shout out to Brooke. She was in the chat heavy today, man. You feel me? We needed like a phone system or something. We could have people call in or something. You feel me? Also, shout out to the new party. Everybody on the stage, they got their own TikToks. Y'all go follow Enzo. I've been in some of his lives. His lives get crazy at times. Follow Skeptic. She be on the live with Castle at times. You feel me? I'll be tuning in a little bit here and there. Follow the new party. I got them pinned to the top of my chat on my channel. Follow them. What else? Follow me, Kamal Johnson Network. Hit that notification bell on both ends so you know when we go live. You feel me? What else I gotta say? That Donald Trump shit, man. Bro, throwing everybody under the bus. He said, look at Bill Clinton. Nah, bro, we gotta look at you, because there's a picture where it looked like you grabbing his meat, bro. So it was like, come on, bro. Now you gonna throw Bill Clinton under the bus? And with them fouls, second, the one clip that Nora showed, that actually wasn't the clip that I was talking about. And it's disgusting how y'all treat Black people, specifically Black women, when it comes to the medical field. You feel me? And with the maternal rates, you know what I mean? But I fight for it where I can, but sometimes I like to leave certain conversations to my Black American women to fight for. You feel me? What else I gotta say? I want to get in the chat last. I'm gonna get on you motherfuckers in a little bit. Some of y'all was funny, but some of y'all was getting on my goddamn nerves, such as Nacrium. I know how to pronounce your name, dickhead, but I'm gonna call you Nutcrumb. That sounds funnier. All right. Are we in American Revolution? If y'all want to stop the American Revolution, give us our fucking reparations and the anti-Black hate crime bill. The economy will start booming. Tell you that much. Another thing, you white women, stop using fucking Black pain and also that white dude with the documentary. Stop using our Black goddamn struggle to push y'all shit. I'm tired of that. Get that out of here with that bull malarkey. Now, last but not least, all the chat. 1 cup, 2 bears. Is that the name of your mama's porno? You punk motherfucker. Who else? Just me. You Walnut Creek honky. I knew you was. As soon as you said you from Walnut Creek, I was like, oh, that's why the honkinism is oozing from his damn text messages, his tweets, and whatever the fuck you want to call this, the chat. Who else? Nut Cream. Stop licking your dog nuts, bruh. I smell it through the screen. Despicable. I'm about to call PETA on your ass. God damn. And Jeremiah Brown, you could eat a bag of fucking dicks, bruh. You was on here complaining. God damn, making no sense. I'd rather have David Johnson in here, the bird calling motherfucker that be in the chat that be just saying a bunch of bullshit. Where is he at? I'll substitute him for your ass, Jeremiah Brown. God damn. Good luck with this chat. Good luck with eating your mama's ass. God damn. Get the F out of here with that bull malarkey. Everybody else, shout out to everybody else that was in the chat from the New Party Heaven. I see you. You feel me? Everybody else that's want to talk shit, drop a super chat, man. God damn. Y'all talk about y'all got 4 homes and 3 cars and shit. Well, prove us wrong. All right? Hey, just saying.
Okay, so my closing thoughts, Brooke, I'm dedicating to you. This is all I have to say. You cannot expect people to care about reparations, struggles, things like that with Black people if you attack people when they are talking about it. So that's the first thing I have to say. Empathy is the bridge that reminds us every person, no matter their race, story, or struggle, deserves to be seen, heard, and cared for. When we choose empathy, we choose to care for all people. Every race, every background, every soul deserves compassion. Now, there are clout chasing things. I could have talked about anything tonight. And you want to know something interesting? The foundational Black person who is my partner in this, when I talked about doing this fucking topic, he didn't want me to talk about it. He said, no one's going to care. But I fought to keep this topic. So, you know, all I have to say to you is I'm going to send prayers to you. I'm really going to pray for your heart and soul. I pray that you get well because the hate in it is not good. God bless and good night, everybody.